Welcome to our today's lesson on depreciation. So today we are looking on depreciation under the reducing balance method. So we are considering question number 1B, which is saying a special council amenity cost 500 and its useful life is planned over 25 years. If the reducing balance depreciation method is used at 10% rate, what is the book value of the amenity at the end of its life cycle? So we are asked to calculate the book value of the amenity at the end of the life cycle. So from what we have been given, we can say we have you can say data. Okay, let me admit someone, just a moment. Okay. 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 Okay, so we say data. So from our question, we have been given the initial cost. So we say initial cost. So we say initial cost. So we will say initial cost is we have been given our initial cost as 500,000. Then from the question we have been told that a special council amenity cost 500 and its useful life is planned over 25 years. Then if the reducing balance depreciation method is used at 10% rate, what is the book value of the amenity at the end of its life? So we have been given also the depreciation rate as 10%, and we have also been given the useful life. So we'll say our useful life, so say useful life for this amenity, so say useful life as n is equal to 25 years. Then we have been also told that the depreciation rate generated by R is 10%. So 10%, this gives us 0.1. Okay, admit someone. Okay, admit. Okay, so welcome, madam. We are just looking on the introductory part of depreciation using the reducing balance method. So we are considering this question here, which is question 1B, which says a special council amenity costs 500,000 and its useful life is planned over 25 years. So this asset, which is an amenity, its initial cost is 500,000 and its life is planned over 25 years. So if the reducing balance method of depreciation is used at rate of 10%, so we have been given the rate. Then they're asking us what is the book value of the amenity at the end of its life. So we want to calculate the book value of this amenity at the end of its useful life. So then, since since the initial cost is 500,000, then the useful life is 25 years, then depreciation rate is at 10%. So we can say year one. So we can say year one, this is now our working. So we can say under year one, our depreciation expense is 500, and book value opening is 50. So we can say, let me put here, so we can say our depreciation expense is equal to 500, then multiply by the percentage, which is 0.1. So this gives us our book value as what? As 50,000. So therefore, book value for year one. So say book value. Book value at the beginning of the year. So the book value at the beginning of the year. So we will say 500,000 minus the depreciation, which is 50 in year one. So our book value, so this is year one. So I will say our book value will be 450. So I saying 500 minus 50, that is 450. Is that okay? So we say book value year one is 450. Then we go to year two. So say year two is equal to the actual value. So we said the depreciation expense as of year two was 450. Then we multiply by the rate, which is 10%. So this gives us, so we say 450,000 multiplied by 10%, it gives us 45. So then we say year two, the book value, so we say now book value is equal to 450, which is the expense in this year which was brought forward, then minus the depreciation, which is 450, which is 45,000. So when we say 450,000 minus 45, that gives us 40,000. That gives us what? So that gives us that is the 450 minus 45,000. It gives us 405. So yes, 405. So that is 405,000. So this become our book value as of year 2. Then we say year 3. So we go to year 3. So in year 3, our depreciation expense was 405. Then multiply by the rate, which is 0.1. So this gives us 405 multiplied by 0.1. What are we getting? So it gives us 40,500. This is our depreciation. So this is our depreciation. Then our book value for this year, so it's a big K, which is book value, is equal to, so our expense, which is 405, then minus the depreciation, which is 40,500. So this gives us, what are we getting? So let's say 405,000 minus 40,500. So it's giving us 364,500. So we're getting 364 comma 500. So now this becomes our book value as of year 3. So now if you look at the question, it's telling us to calculate the book value for the next up to the 25th year. Let me pick the question for you. So now the question is telling us to say, what is the book value for the amenity at the end of its life? So what we want to calculate is the book value at the end of its life. So, and the useful life in this question we have been told is 25 years. So if the useful life is 25 years, so meaning we will need to actually do this process until we reach the 25th year. So this process may take us time to do it until we reach the 5th year. So therefore, for us to be able to compute questions like this, we will need a formula. So we can now use this formula to calculate our depreciation. So we'll say, if you are calculating depreciation using finding the book value, say book value. Okay, let me just open a new one, but this one has issues. Okay, all right, thank you. So we are saying that our formula is, we will say book value book value is equal to so we are saying book value is equal to C multiplied by open bracket 1 minus C R over power T. So this is the formula we'll be using to calculate our book value. So this book value is quoted in terms of time. So we'll say book value. So book value in terms of time. The book value of an asset in terms of time when it depreciates is equal to C, which is the initial cost, then multiplied by 1 minus C, R, which is the rate, then the time in terms of years. So we'll be using this formula for us to calculate our depreciation. So we are saying where C is equal to, this is the initial cost. So we are saying C is the initial cost. Then we are also saying that R, this is the depreciation rate. So we say R is the depreciation rate. Then we say the T in the formula, that is the number of years. That is number of years. So therefore we can now be able to compute our question using the formula above. So since we are looking for the book value in terms of say T, so say book value, so say book value at 25 years is equal to, so our initial cost we are given as the 500,000 in the question. This is our initial cost, then multiply by open bracket 1 minus C R, then our rate you are saying is 0.1. The R is the depreciation rate. Then we are saying the time of this asset is the time value is 25. Yes, so we say 25. So we can now calculate. So we say equals, so we say 500 multiplied by, so we say 1 minus 0.1. What are we getting? 0.9. So we say 0.9 to the power 25. So then you just get your calculator to say 500,000 multiplied by 0.9 then to the power 25. Then your final answer comes to, so say 0.9 to the power 25. What are we getting? What are others getting? So it says 0.9 to the power 25. So it will be 500,000 multiplied by 0.07178. So you can write it complete, then multiply by 500,000. Then what are we getting? So what are we getting?
35,894.
Okay. Let me just cancel this phone call. Instead of don't take it. Okay, sorry for that. So just an incoming call. Okay, so we are saying our answer is what? What are we finding? What are we getting?
35,000.
Okay, so our depreciation, our book value comes to this is the 35,894. So in round off it will be 5. So you can say therefore book value. You now say book value at 25 is equal to 35,895. So this will be our book value at 25 years. So if we use that process above, it will take us to this book value. Okay, so this is how we calculate our book value. Let's look at also another question. Let's look at this one. Copy. Okay. So consider this new question here. Okay. Okay, it's loading. It's shortly coming. Right. So let me do this. Okay, so we read question number 17. So question number 17 is saying a 150,000 is invested in machinery which depreciates at 8% per annum. How much will the machinery be worth in 10 years by the reducing balance method? So we are asked to calculate the book value of this machinery at the end of 10 years. So we can say our data, data given network is okay, so we can say data. So we have been given the initial cost. So we can say C is equal to 150. Then we have been given the rate, the depreciation rate R as 8%. So R is 8%, so we can say 0.08. Then we have been given the T in terms of time, number of years. So the T in terms of years is 10. So then we are told to calculate the reducing balance at 10 years. To calculate the, what are we taught? How much will the machinery be worth in 10 years? So we can now consider. So we are saying our book value formula, we are saying book value formula, book value in terms of T is equal to C multiplied by 1 minus R to the power T. So then we can replace these values in the formula given here. So we'll say our book value at 10 years. 10 years is equal to, so our initial cost is 150. Then we are saying multiply by, so we are saying initial cost multiplied by 1 minus R, then the rate is 0.08, then the time is 10. So what's our book value? So let's say, so we'll say 150, then we'll deal with what is in the bracket. So we'll say 1 minus 0.08, then it will give us 0.92 to the power 10. Then we'll say 0.92 to the power 10. What are we getting? So say 0.92 to the power 10 multiplied by 150. Then so our final answer becomes, so multiplied by 150,000. So our final answer becomes 651,558. So we can now say, therefore, our book value, we can say our book value at 10 years is equal to 65,158. So this is the book value at 10 years, the one they are asking us to calculate. Then let's consider also another question. Okay. Do you have people who are still copying? Okay.
No.
All right. Okay, so the question is ready. It's just ready. Okay. Okay, so we are considering question number 1B. So question number 1B is saying a mainframe computer whose cost is 220,000 will depreciate to a scrap value of 12,000 in 5 years. So we have been given the initial cost, then we have been given the scrap value in 5 years. If the reducing balance method of depreciation is used, find the depreciation rate. So in here, they're asking us to calculate the depreciation rate. So when we are answering the question, the first thing first, like I always say, you need to identify the values you have been given in your question. So you say data, so you say data, then so we have been given our initial cost for this computer framework. C, our initial cost as 220,000. Then we have been given the scrap value. So we are saying the scrap value, and we are saying the other way of scrap value is called the book value. So we are saying the book value or the scrap value or scrap value is a CV in terms of T is equal to 12,000. Then the rate, we have been given the depreciation rate as 5 years. The rate is what we are looking for, so we don't know the rate. Then we have been given the T in terms of time in years as how many? As 5 years. As 5. Let me just open a new page. This one is quite slow. As 5 years. Let me just open a new page. This one is skipping. Okay. Just a moment, family. I'm just trying to open a new page. Okay, so copy. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so this is our question. I've just opened the fresh page. The other one was quite slow. So we have already taken our cost, initial cost C as 220. Our initial cost as 220. Then we have the scrap value. So we are saying the scrap value or the book value at the lifetime of an asset. So we are saying book value. You can say book value is what is the book value? So our book value is given as 12,000. Then we have been given the t in terms of years as 5 years, the time in terms of years. Then we are asked to calculate if the reducing balance method of depreciation is used, find the depreciation rate. So our R is what we are looking for. Okay, so with this data and the formula here, so our formula is saying book value, I can abbreviate it as B, in terms of time is equal to initial cost multiplied by 1 minus R T. So in this formula, we have been given the book value, we have been given the initial cost, then we have been given the time. So we are only told to calculate the rate. So we can now replace our values. So the book value is 12. So we can say the book value is 12,000 equals our initial cost was 220. Then we say multiply by 1 minus R. Our time is 5 years. So we can now begin to compute. So say 12,000 is equal to 220,000 multiplied by 1 over R to the power 5. So we can divide 220 over 220. So this will cancel and this will cancel. So then you remain with so it will be 12,000 over 220 is equal to, so we remain now with our 1 minus R to the power 5. So at this point now, where we are here, we can introduce roots. So we'll say root of 5, then here we'll say the root of 5. So this 5 will cancel with the root. Then it will be now equals 1 minus R. Then here we will now calculate the fifth root of 12,000 over 220. So let's compute that. So say fifth root, you go in your calculator, you type a 5, then you type the fifth. I showed you how to do it. So say fifth root of 12,000. So you say fifth root, then you open your bracket, you say 12,000 over 22, 220,000, then close bracket. What are we getting? So we are getting 0.12,000 over 220. So we are getting 0.5589222654. So since we are now calculating for R and want a positive R, so we'll say R will come. So we are calculating for this R here, this R. So we'll say R will jump this equal sign to come the other side, then it will be a positive. So it will be R, which is the rate, is equal to 1 minus. So this will jump the equal sign to be negative. So 1 minus 0 0.558922654. So then say 1 minus what we have, 1 minus 0 0.0, 1 minus 0 0.05892654. So what are we getting? What are we getting? What are we getting, family?
0.41.
Okay, so it's equal to 0.44.
Oh, sorry, 0.441.
Yes, 0.441.
Yes.
So now, since R is the rate in percentage, so say 0.4441 times 100 times 100. So this will now give you times 100. So this will give you the rate as 44.1% as our rate. So this asset was depreciating at 44.1% per annum. So that is our depreciating rate. So when you look at the asset itself, you see the book value was at 200, or the initial cost was at 220. Then the book value came to 12,000 just in a space of 5 years. So meaning the rate was very high. That's why in a space of 5 years, the book value can reduce, the value of this asset had to reduce to here to 12,000. So this is quite justifiable. So the answer we have found as 44 is very much justifiable, looking at the data we have here. So what I'm saying is, our initial cost was 220,000. Then the depreciation after 5 years, this asset reduced to 12,000 as the scrap value or book value. So then we are calculating the rate. So meaning the rate was the rate we have calculated is at what? What is our rate? 44%. So the 44% is meaning this initial cost per year was the rate was 44% of this value. So that's why this asset at 5 years had to reduce to this, because the rate was very high. I hope we have understood what this means. Okay, so let's look again on one scenario. So let me just share another scenario.